How's it going, everyone? My name's Dara. Before this video begins, I would like to announce that this is a collaboration project called Pixar Perception by Network 1901, where a group of video essayists on YouTube are analyzing scenes from Pixar films that are the most significant to them. I will put a link in the description for the full playlist of content creators that were a part of the project, some of which you might actually know, like the Fangirl and Watso videos. If you would like to participate in this project, I more than encourage you to do so. All you need to do is make a video analyzing a scene, or in my case, an entire movie, from a Pixar film and post it on Twitter with the hashtag PixarPerception and at Network1901. If you're not into making videos, however, I hope you will still check out the playlist and support the individual creators. So, I fucking called it, mate! I can't believe I got my prediction right. I'm really getting good at predicting endings. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please click the little eye icon above to check out the last video I did on Toy Story 4. Basically, I was able to predict that in the end of the film, spoilers obviously, click away now if you don't want to be spoiled, Woody would leave everyone behind and stay with Bo Peep. And, you know, to be honest, I was kinda disappointed. I mean, not particularly at this scene, because it was the route I knew the movie had to go if they wanted to introduce a new Toy Story movie. But at the movie as a whole, Toy Story 4 to me was disappointingly average. Don't get me wrong though, the animation is there and it's fantastic. And like I predicted, what was left to be said was said in the conclusion of this movie. But it still felt like a hollow shell in comparison to the masterpieces that were the original trilogy. Some particular things that bugged me were the fact that Buzz was incredibly dumbed down in this movie, with the whole inner voice gimmick, which was a deadbeat horse joke that wasn't even funny in the first place, to details that nobody is talking about, like the fact that Gabby got her happily ever after, but the poor damn puppet henchmen were left to rot in that old secondhand store. Like, did nobody question what happened to them? Like, why did they even do what Gabby said in the first place when they didn't get anything? Creepy ventriloquist leave love too, goddammit! And finally, to Forky, who was supposed to be, what I thought, the driving force of existentialism in this movie. And I'm not the only one that thinks so. I saw a couple of reviews from my favorite YouTubers on the movie, and they all seem to agree with me. From Sabersparks saying that the movie felt like a DLC to a game, though personally I would call it more of an OVA to an anime, to the Super Carlin brothers saying that the movie should have been called Woody instead. There was even this video I saw from a channel that I'm not subscribed to called Captain Midnight, who did an excellent video explaining why Toy Story 4 just doesn't work, because it goes against everything the trilogy stands for. Looking at all these reviewers and critics really made me reflect on something in particular. As you can see in the title, it made me think about the commercialism of nostalgia. Let me explain what I mean by that. In this day and age, it has become socially acceptable for adults to embrace their inner child and keep loving the things they used to when they were children, such as animated works, comic books, and films. This happens because the new generation consisted of young adults in this day and age. Millennials completely rejected the traditional ideas set up by older ones. Young adults today are dreamers and believe in a form of life where happiness is found by partaking in the pleasures of fantasy to escape our mundane everyday lives. So much so that it's become a big marketing strategy in various fields. Most of the time, when you see someone buying an anime figurine or going to a Comic-Con, you will see a great majority of the people that are partaking in these events are not children, but adults. However, sadly, even though it's market strategy for various sorts of businesses, it's still not completely dominant in mainstream media today. And a great example of this is the movie Toy Story 4. Even though it was a movie that millennials grew up with, it was mostly targeted as a product to be consumed by Generation Z, since corporations are run mostly by baby boomers and Generation X, who believe that, quote-unquote, animation is still for kids. Keep in mind, however, that I said it was mostly targeted at Generation X, for they did not exclude any adults from this film. For when it comes to bringing old films and series back to life, a good part of the audience is going to be filled with nostalgia-filled millennials that want to relive their childhoods once more with the new product. Corporations only care about money, however, not art, so they put the minimum effort that they believe are enough, but don't bother to go the extra length to make a true masterpiece work of art. With movies like Toy Story 4, the announcement of the creation of the film is made before studios have solid ideas. For these movies are focused more on making money. When it was announced, the only basic premise Toy Story 4 had was that it would be centered around the idea of finding Bo Peep in a carnival. The creators had to write the script for the movie based only with that simple premise, and they did make something that was decent. Smart enough to indulge in the intelligence of the children, but not smart enough that it would completely satisfy the cravings of the much older and wiser adults, who had extremely high expectations from the original trilogy. This is only the example of Toy Story 4, however. It really does vary from case to case. For example, the DreamWorks movies' lack of quality over the years. But to not drift apart from the main focus, I will solely use examples of remakes and revivals. So let's give another example of commercialism and of nostalgia. The live-action movies Disney is making. Everything would be all good and dandy if they actually were trying to create with these, but as most of us can agree, especially when you look at something like the Rotten Tomatoes scores, that isn't the case. It's all really ironic too when you think about it, considering the original movies in itself were reimaginings. But that's a video for another day that I'm definitely going to take a look at as well. But that aside, it's really sad that despite the quality of these films, the total gross of these films turn out to give a decent amount of profit. This is once again because adult millennials want to remember the happiness of childhood, so they endorse in any consumption of it that they can. Another reason why this is such a shame as well is because I believe that live-action movies could be a good idea if they didn't focus so much on selling nostalgia. There are quite a few Disney benefit from having a live action, such as Atlantis and Treasure Planet, whose total box office gross did not turn into much of a profit, but with time became cult classics and beloved by many people, especially adults. Live action for these movies would also enhance the fact that these particular movies were actually quite mature in very subtle ways that could be overlooked by the average child. Check out my previous video as an example. I think Disney should definitely at least try to take the non-conventional easy route and experiment more, since that would bring richness to a company that has unfortunately lost all of its spark throughout the ages. But alas, money and greed will always be louder than the voices of the minority, the more critical adults that don't get blinded by nostalgia. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think Toy Story 4 was an average as well, or was it a really good movie regardless of the nostalgia? Do you think nostalgia is being oversaturated on media, or is it good to reinvision and revive things from the past? If you're from an older generation, do you think loving entertainment marketed to children is immature? And finally, should the live-action movie stop? If not, what movie would you like to see or are looking forward to seeing reimagined on the big screen? Please leave all of those thoughts in the comment section below. I read every single one. I would love to discuss opinions with you. So yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. I don't have a consistent schedule, but you can expect videos from me at least once a month on Saturdays. Also, please share this video, guys. It really helps my channel grow. You can follow me on Twitter. Link is in the description. I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember to stay determined to TFN, guys.